Hi, my name is Justin Odisho, and in this Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial, we're going to go over some basics of audio editing in Adobe Premiere. So what I have open on the timeline is a short snippet from my podcast that I do. And so what you see is a couple different audio clips. So the timeline in Premiere Pro, as you know, is split kind of symmetrically in between video, which is this V1, V2, and then audio. So A1, and then you have all the different audio tracks. And some different ways to read these is you have mute and solo. So on each track, you can mute tracks. So then I'll only hear these two. You can solo a track so that I'll only hear this track in solo. And you have options for voiceover, which I have a separate tutorial on. But the other thing you have is different colors. So you notice these are green, these are blue. Why? They're all audio. Basically, this blue is attached to the clip. This is just clip audio. So this is a video I shot on my phone. So this is the audio that came from that. However, I was recording into these microphones, and those are just direct audio tracks, which we can see in the project media panel. Those are .wav files, and this is just the audio attached to the .move. And you can also see in the project media panel, when I do have a clip such as this .move, we see that it has video footage and audio by these little two symbols. If it's a video with only video, it won't have that. And when you drag it out on the timeline, it'll probably be labeled a different color, like purple or something. So the label colors are just there to help you out. Now, the other things with audio editing, so the basic panels we have are kind of the sound form. You can already tell that these are a bit quieter than these just by the waveform, but if you ever make those audio tracks bigger and you can zoom in, you can kind of see what's going on. So since I have these two microphone setups, you can see when one person is talking versus when the other person is talking. You can kind of tell the different peaks and waves. So you can read these to know when to cut, to know when the end or beginning of a statement is going to be. And the other thing is when you're playing audio, you could see here, these are the levels. So right now it's generally peaking at around -3-ish, something like that. This depends on your kind of broadcast setup, but generally you want to kind of peak around 0 to -3. I'm not an audio engineer expert. This would depend on the way that you're broadcasting, but you just don't want to clip. Clipping is when the audio is way too loud, and you'll see kind of the bar peak all the way up to red. Red means bad. It's clipping. It's going past the level. You also see that this bar is split into two. There's a left and right. So in this way, it's symmetrical. But sometimes if you're recording on like a phone or a weird device, you might only get one side recorded in or sides being different. So that gets into different ways that we can adjust the audio. If you ever highlight the clip in the effect controls panel, you'll see the basic audio adjustments, which are adjusting the level, but you also have the panner, so panning from left to right. But basically the one that you're going to do here most often is level. Usually if you want to quiet something down, you can lower it like negative certain amount of decibels. Or if you want to make it a little bit louder, you can increase it 3 or 6 decibels. You do want to keep in mind that by default, the keyframe is toggled on. So if you do make an adjustment, you'll notice that it'll add a keyframe. And that can be annoying when you're just trying to adjust the overall volume of the clip. So I usually typically will turn that off if I'm just trying to adjust the overall volume of the clip. You can also adjust overall things about the whole track. There's a bunch of other audio panels. So here we see audio track 1. I can just physically turn the volume slider up or down on that whole track. And there's also different effects and things you can do. So you can push it a little to the right or left. These are all things that you might not necessarily typically need to do in every situation. Some other quick tips that you can do is if you right click a clip, you can go to audio gain. And here we see it'll tell us the peak amplitude for this one was -1.4 decibels, which is pretty good. It never peaks overboard. You can adjust the entire gain of this by +1 or whatever. You could set it to a certain amount, or you can normalize the peaks all to be at 0 or -2 or whatever you want it to be at. You do got to be careful. Depends on, I guess this is for situations where the microphone was close and then far and things are not as balanced as they should be. But you can do that and it'll press OK, automatically do it, and you can play it back in here. Another thing, like I was saying, is if you did have a mono track or only on the left side or playing only on the right side, you can click audio channels when you right click and you can fill the left with the right. So here's the left ear and the right ear. So right now the left ear is the left, right ear is using the right audio. But if for some reason you only captured the left audio, you can fill that into both. And another thing, as we see, we have a bunch of different audio tracks here. So this clip audio is probably not synced to the video audio because I had to start the video before pressing record on the audio. So one thing we can do here, a quick way to sync things, is just to highlight the two audio tracks and right click synchronize. It'll ask us what track channel we're trying to sync to, and then you can just press OK and it'll process the two clips and it will allow us to, it'll automatically synchronize. And we can see it pushes things where they properly should be now. So it appears that the audio is right there. So now we have a synchronized audio and video just with that quick tool. And you can play it back and you can see even the slight peaks and valleys, they all match up. And that's why you might want to clap well before starting to record, just so you can get some peaks to match up or look at. Another thing too is if you ever drag a video clip not in lock with the audio, you'll notice this little red badge come up that says plus 47 or minus 47. This is showing you that the audio that is attached to this clip is now minus 40 seconds off. So now if I put it back to normal, you see that goes away. The whole other panel that we have in Premiere Pro is the Essential Sound panel. This is another quick, useful one. They have a bunch of presets here between dialogue, sound effects, and when you click them, this will give you some easy to use repairing options. So auto tools for reducing noise, trying to dehum, reducing reverb, or just adjusting into a podcast voice, for example. I tend to try to record as properly as possible using the proper levels into the microphone because it really does get kind of difficult to make anything sound good if it's not sounding good originally in post. So I really don't touch these too much. I try to have it all done in the preamplifier and microphone properly. But you do have all these tools if you do kind of want to boost up the highlights, or if you just have some audio that you can't record again and you just have to try to salvage it. You could try your best to increase the volume, reduce the noise, things like that. You also have in the effects panel different creative audio effects. So delays, echoes, reverbs, different fun things, or special effects, or low pass or high pass filters. I suppose a lot of these could be for musical things, but like I was saying earlier with the fill left with right and fill right with left, they also have preset drag and drop ones that do the same thing. You can have distortion ones here. These are all specialized things to either compress the low end or only let the high pitch or the middle end or the bass of the audio come through. So everyone's voice is a little different, and that could be different. Then you also have, audio transitions. There's just kind of a few, but there's basically only fades. And this is one that you're probably going to use more than half of everything I talked about in this video, is just a simple right click, apply default transition, crossfade or fade out. So a lot of times you want to fade your audio out, maybe alongside the video. You kind of can just fade it out, and as the video fades, the audio will quiet down as well. The other thing is this line on the audio keyframe. So this is just kind of a visual. If you ever right click and click show clip keyframes, this is a visual volume level, and I can lift this whole bar up and you'll see in the effects panel, the audio will go up. I can always click this button to reset it. But the cool part about this is you can kind of do ducking in this way. if I hold Command, I can add keyframes visually on the points, and I can kind of lower or increase points based on kind of this visual graph. So I suppose in that way you could duck things and blend different audio tracks together. But that's a very basic kind of introduction to all the different audio editing tools available for you. Like I said, you can definitely get more in depth with the whole audio track mixers and adding different audio effects and all of that. But realistically, if you try to get down to a setup where you have a good recorded audio into the microphone and you don't have to do too much to it in post, you're basically just going to be using simple things like adjusting levels, maybe adding a fade out, a fade in, maybe sometimes fixing up level channels or fixing peaks and gains. So if you enjoyed this video on audio editing workflows and tips in Premiere, definitely check out my channel for more. You can subscribe to stay tuned for all my latest videos and find me everywhere on social media at Justin Odisho. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.